Welcome everyone. Glad you can join us for our Cold Regions Hydrology Modeling Design Workshop with the watershed modeling system and the gridded surface subsurface hydrologic analysis model. So it'll be a productive afternoon, I hope, for all of you. We're going to talk a lot about cold regions hydrology, how we can model it, what are the considerations that you have to take into account when you're modeling it. We've got a good team of experts here to help do training. We've got Dr. Charles Downer, Dr. Nawar Pradhan, and Dr. Chris Mimo with us today as well, helping do all the training. So I'm excited. This will be a fun training. There we go. Here's our agenda. So I'll start us off with some, GSSHA resources. Then Chris will talk us through some WMS basics. I'll go over some of the GSSHA basics. Dr. Danner will talk us through effects of temperature on hydrology and snow. We'll do some tutorials. Dr. Pradhan will talk us through permafrost, and we'll wrap up for the day. So we have some couple of hands-on tutorials. Don't worry if you don't have everything ready to go today. Hopefully you can follow along a little bit, have fun sort of getting into WMS and working through the examples. We're gonna save the recordings and post them online so that y'all can go back in the future and walk through them again and sort of take a bit more time to work through them if you need that. So feel free to ask questions as we go through. We'd love for these to be interactive. It helps us, makes it more interesting too. So a little bit about which versions of the software to use. So in GSSHA, I'm in the middle of releasing version 8.0. Version 7.15 is the sort of current, release version that has some updates for snow and frozen ground. 8.0 has updates for permafrost. So you'll want to be using 8.0 when you do the modeling for permafrost, at least. For WMS, so version 11.2 is what is available on the USACE software request portal. You can do almost everything. What we're working through today is sort of some of the cutting edge stuff. So the permafrost isn't in 11.2, as are some of the frozen ground features are also not in 11.2. But Chris, Dr. Smimo, he was able to put them in and get a beta release version out. So that's 11.3. So if you can download WMS to your computer and work through, 11.3 is the one that you want. If you can only get 11.2 at the moment, that's okay. We'll show you like where you go into the files and add a couple of the little features to set things up. So not a huge deal if you can't get 11.3 and you can only get 11.2 at the moment. We'll walk you through how to set things up manually. But if you can get 11.3, definitely recommend it. So where do you get 11.3? So on the Aquaveo website, it's a beta release, so it's not like the current most official release. So you have to go to the downloads section, and then it'll be there. You can pop it up, download it.
So Aaron,
good to go.
For clarity, our USACE people won't be able to get and use 11.3 on their ASIC machines, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
We'll work to get it 11.3 put into the enterprise software system. When we did this last year, it took about 6 months, so it's not a fast process. But we'll get it put up there as soon as the 11.3 becomes the official release.
That's only in the ASIC machine, right? RDE.
Yes,
you can
that's
download.
For the ASIC machines. If you have an RDE machine, you should be able to download 11.3 and install it just fine. As far as licenses, if you're not a DoD person, then you'll want to contact Aquavail for information about licenses. If you're a USACE or DoD person, you can email Cassandra Ross for a license. And you should have received, for everybody who emailed me ahead of time, I sent out a license for the non-DoD users so that you have access to WMS for like the next month. So Chris was gracious enough to send me a license for non-DoD users so they can have access to all the features in 11.3 for the next month or so. The WMS tutorials. So today we're going to skip a whole lot of stuff. Okay. Normally classes can end up being several days long, and we'll start at the beginning. How do you set up a GSSHA model? How do you use WMS? And sort of walk through step by step. We have videos online from last year that I'll mention in just a minute, and there's a whole lot of these training courses online that Aquavail has set up for us. So I highly encourage you, if you're new to GSSHA and WMS, spend some time walking through these tutorials. It'll really help you get familiar with how to set up GSSHA models. We're going to sort of skip ahead to snow, frozen ground, permafrost kinds of things. So these are a bit more advanced features. So if you don't keep up to date, don't sweat it. That's why you can go back and watch the videos and come back and try and do things in the future if you want. So downloading GSSHA, where can you get GSSHA? So on the GSSHA wiki, there's a link to download the newest version. So the 8.0 version that is on there has all the permafrost updates to it. It's included in WMS 11.3. If you don't have 11.3, then you'll have to download it and install it separately. Which is probably the ACIP machines will not let you do. Once again, this will be kind of once you get 11.3 for the USACE users, then this will work. So the GSSHA tutorials. So we now have an official YouTube channel. I'm excited. It took me a bit of doing a few weeks ago, but we have some official tutorials upline. So we'll do the same thing this year. A lot of the tutorials that are there are from the class last year, where we start at the beginning and we walk through like the basics of what's WMS, what's GSSHA, how do you set up a model sort of starting from scratch. So that's all online, so y'all can all walk through that and sort of get up to speed on how to use WMS and how to use GSSHA. Hopefully everybody likes it. If you have any ideas for tutorials or training that you'd like in the future, let me know. I'm happy to always add new tutorials there. Another sort of helpful resource. So the GSSHA wiki has a lot of stuff on it. A lot of information about GSSHA itself, how to set up different processes, what are all the different things that you can do. It has all the equations that we solve, as well as how do we actually do it, what are the file formats and things like that. One of the more useful features is this sample values page, which has just tables of common parameters that are used. These are like from literature, from other models, sort of what's the real world numbers that people use to put in GSSHA models. This is a good place to find starting values, right? So usually you'll hunt through here, find the albedo for a deciduous forest, or whatever it is, right? And then you plug in the number. Then later on, when you're calibrating, you'll tweak the number to sort of best match your area and your specific needs for your model. But this is a good place to sort of start. So I wanted to point this out, that there's a great resource here put together by Aquavail for us with a lot of these factors that we you know, you look at GSSHA and you're like, I have no idea what this number should be. Right? This is your resource for where to go to find these kinds of numbers. All right. With that, we shall get going. Any questions so far?
Aaron, I would just add that, we can, if people need help with a problem, we can help them out. Just get a hold of one of us. And also we can teach a class for like a district or something if they need us to. And just let us know. We can either come there or we can do it virtually like this. So, or we can have you in Vicksburg, whatever you like. That's all.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, we love teaching and training, so it's always fun for us. Thanks. Chris, Dr. Shmimo, I'll let you take over for our WMS basics.
Hey,